Hello, Aries. Welcome to Souls Intersect. I have your New Year 2017 Intuitive Tarot reading. I did this a little bit differently than I do my monthly reading, so I'm going to take you through that. I just want to let you know first that this can be used for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And if you're interested in a private reading, feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. And also, if you're watching this while it's still December, I do have some specials going this month, so please follow the link to my website or check out my video that talks about the promotions for December 2016. Okay, so I have this reading broken up into 4 quatrains. We're gonna follow it like a clock. So basically, if you think of the top quatrain as 12 o'clock, that's going to be for the first quarter of 2017. So we're going to look at the energies and maybe some specific details depending on what comes through for me intuitively. And then to the right is the second quarter of 2017. And at the bottom is the third quarter of 2017. And then finally at the left is the fourth quarter of 2017. In the center is a general energy for the year 2017 and just a general message or maybe an overarching theme that's going to come through. So I may come back to that more than once. We'll see how the interpretations go. So starting with the beginning of the year, so it would be approximately January, February, March. Timing is always tough, but I did meditate on the idea of having the 4 quarters of the year, so things should be relatively clear and should fall into that time frame in some sense. And remember, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate, but hopefully it will in some way. Okay, so first quarter of the year, we have the 9 of Pentacles for you, Aries, and the Ace of Rods, or Ace of Wands. I really like having that ace there. It's a beginning, it's the new year, and it's in your element. It's that fire element. I really see you taking a hold of something and making it your own. I'm picking up on definitely a new business endeavor for some of you, or project. I'm also feeling something about children. This could be having children, beginning something new with them. It could also be starting some new way of raising them, doing something different, maybe type of schooling. It feels like it could be related to a new type of school with a different methodology, or maybe even homeschooling or something like that for some of you with children. I definitely pick up on a strong sense of independence with this 9 of Pentacles, and I'm resonating with the Sun card and feeling a lot of hope and optimism around harnessing your abilities to begin something new. Lots of hope, lots of luck, it feels like, for starting a new business, definitely. Moving on to the second quarter, and I may also, reference one of the other quarters if something else comes through for me. If you watch my monthly readings, you know that I don't usually use a spread, so I pick up on different messages from the different energies of the cards as I go along, and so I may actually refer back to another card. It feels like in the second quarter, so April, May, June, I'm sensing that you may start to realize something that you hoped would finish this year does not finish. So the 3 of Swords is coming through for me as a disappointment, and the World as a cycle completing. It does feel like something that you've been really hoping would come to completion for some time now. It feels for some of you that it's related to a project. It could also be moving, like you're hoping to be able to afford to buy a house, or maybe afford to move to a different neighborhood, maybe even a different city. I'm definitely picking up on the moving energy for some of you. You would hope for something like that. Or if you have roommates or something, it feels like maybe you'd hope to be able to get a place of your own. it needs some more time. That's what I'm picking up on. It feels like it's not a failure. It is coming through as a disappointment. The realization, I think, is going to probably dawn on you in kind of a piercing way. Like there may be you just didn't save as much as you'd hoped, or you need money you saved for something else. Or if it's not money or home related, it feels like a lot of hope was put into a cycle completing or achieving something that you'd been hoping for, and it's just not quite the time yet. I am resonating again with the sun energy. I feel like it's really positive if you look at the three cards together. Yes, you have this disappointment in the center, but you even have that sun energy behind that heart. It feels like some optimism is shining through, and the sun is really highlighting that for me. So I feel like there is really nothing to worry about. I would just be careful about getting down on yourself. I'm starting to pick up on the Eight of Swords in the third quarter part of the reading, and I'll come to that in a moment, but it feels like there's some danger of letting this Three of Swords energy stay with you for too long, get you down. And so that's a message that's coming through. Try to focus on the hope. Try to be optimistic. I think that is going to help you during this time period with whatever this disappointment is. It's not coming through as a major loss for me. It could feel like that if if expectations were too high or something along those lines, but I'm not really picking up on it as in a major ending or anything like that. It's not the Ten of Swords, and I don't see the Death card. It just feels like something that hope was built up around, and maybe a letdown around that. If some of you are starting your own business, for example, in that first quarter, maybe part of the hope came from that. You hoped it would build faster, and it maybe isn't. But I would say, again, try to remain optimistic. So looking at the third quarter, we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. I really feel strongly that the key to earning what you want to and achieving what you want to is very much going to be related to your mental attitude. I feel that the only thing stopping you would be doubts and pessimism. Optimism is a very strong theme for 2017 for you, Aries. I feel that message coming through pretty strongly. I get the sense that that's a new thing for you with that Ace of Wands at the top. And it's almost like not only is it something that you need, a gift that you need, and that's why it's coming through, your ability to be more optimistic. At the same time, though, it feels like it is challenging for you to begin with. And some of the new challenges that you're facing by choice could make it more challenging to be optimistic in a sense. So it's interesting. It's a little bit of a catch-22. It feels like the energy is there to support you to be more optimistic, but it may also be more difficult to achieve that. But that's sometimes how lessons are. And so what I'm hearing is fight hard for your optimism. Try to beat that Eight of Swords energy. You can see that it's a completely different color from all of these other cards, and lots of them have different colors. The Nine of Pentacles is very different too, but we see lots of yellows and lots of blues. And then with that, we just have kind of this steely, light color, some colorlessness, and then of course her dress, but she's all bound up in this brown cord, and it's a way of trapping your gifts is kind of how it feels to me. But the key, and this is you as the Queen of Pentacles, receiving your gifts, harvesting what you deserve, definitely financial related, but it could be more than that. It could be learning new skills. It could be gaining stability that you've been hoping for. It feels very strongly like it's linked to your attitude. And so that energy is there to be that Queen of Pentacles. And the only thing that might get in the way is that mentality. Now, looking at the Queen of Rods and the Moon card, this is for the fourth quarter of 2017, so more towards the end of the year. I'm seeing a couple things. So Queen of Rods, Queen of Wands is you. It's that fire energy. It feels like you have really learned a lot, based on whatever the new beginning was at the beginning of the year with the Ace of Rods. It feels like you've definitely wielded what you were meant to, and whether or not you got as far as you wanted to, it feels like you've learned a lot, and it's definitely made you stronger, and it's definitely helped you tune into who you are more deeply. That's a very promising thing for you this year. I also see, so with the moon card just resonating with that Queen of Rods card, feels like there's some emotional things that could dampen that fiery spirit that you've wielded. What I'm sensing there is that it feels to me like there is, what happens is when you've come into who you are a bit more, which is what it feels like to me for 2017, it can help you to clear out some things that were in your subconscious. And in some sense, that water energy goes against that fire energy. And it just feels like you may not realize, I guess is what I want to say, how far you've come by the end of the year because of what it's going to bring up for you to work through. And I don't mean to make it sound like the end of the year is going to be some dark emotional time. I'm not sensing any crisis or anything like that. I just feel like by strengthening your gifts, both spiritually and whatever skills you may have in relation to work especially, and family, it feels like it's going to cause you to look within more and work on some things that you're ready to work on. I mean, it's really a positive thing, and that's where I'm also seeing the Queen of Rods coming in between the moon and sun, because there's a lot of hope there too. So I think the key, again, to getting through whatever subconscious stuff might come up is remaining optimistic again. It's possible for some of you that some emotional stuff does come up that's not just subconscious, like something that was hidden coming out in the open, but it doesn't feel in relation to you. To me, that feels like it is maybe in relation to someone around you. But if that's the case, it feels like that it's also going to bring up some emotions for you, some things. It's going to resonate with some things you've experienced. Is what I'm getting. But with the Queen of Rods in between the moon and sun, it's like this reminder that you're the entire universe in a sense, not in the sense that, the world revolves around you, but everything you need is within you. And although there may be some deep emotional stuff, the opposite end of that spectrum is this sun card, is that optimism. The moon can sometimes be pessimism as well. But what you really need to clear out whatever it is that comes up is that light from the sun, that optimism, that hope. And you even see the moon there is the full moon. It's this large size. It's illuminating these things coming up from the depths, coming up from the subconscious. And maintaining that light within you, being yourself, holding on to that fire element within you, and being hopeful is what's going to help you work through that. It's the only way that you'll work through it, and it's there for you. The energy is there for you. So again, I don't mean to make that sound daunting. Sometimes that can be the most beautiful, peaceful feeling, is when things come up from the subconscious to clear, because they actually, if you let the process happen, if you let the healing happen, it's probably something that bothered you more before it came to the surface. And what's happening is it's coming to the surface. And so just let that light shine on it, and that's there to help you through it. And this may be literal in some ways too, both literal and figurative, but the sun getting more light, and maybe even especially during that later time in the year, is really important for you. And if you're watching this in December, it could even apply to this year. Be sure to get as much sunlight as you possibly can. It's going to depend on where you live, of course, but I really feel like that will help you with sorting through things and just feeling better in general this time of year, but also throughout the year in general, because we do have the sun in the center there. Now, finally, this has been very focused on self, and it seems work, a little bit of family stuff, but I am picking up on two people coming together. I think that a lot of you have someone that you're with or partnered up with, either for business or romance, and it feels like that is something that stays strong throughout 2017. And it may be friendship, maybe romance, but it feels like a very strong connection. So I just want to leave it at that. I really like the Sun card being in the center. It just feels like you have all of these options and so many gifts to use throughout the year 2017, and all that is surrounding you. All right, Aries, I wish you a very happy new year and best of luck to you in 2017. If you'd like a private reading or if you have any questions, feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. Thank you.